Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Your Peak Life. Today we have a special guest, Linda Harrison. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Good. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Great. So we're just going to dive right in. First, I would like to ask you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
So much to tell. My name's Linda from New Jersey. I'm a realtor. I'm a mother. I'm a pet mom. I'm a hiker. And most of all, I hate this. That's
Perfect.
who I am.
That's perfect.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Well,
great.
we're missing one right now, but Edwin would ask, where in Jersey are you from?
I'm from the
would.
armpit of New Jersey between Trenton and Camden. Went to
Oh,
Palmyra
wow.
High School. Oh yeah. It's quite run down these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we got some great wrestlers from New Jersey in my area. But that's a different story.
Well, Jersey, what brought you to Virginia?
Well, I was in the military, so I left the Jersey to go into the military back in 1981. And from the military, long story short, I ended up in England, and then I ended up here in Virginia Beach. And I came here armed with a bachelor's degree that I earned through the military in England. And I was going to take the business world by storm. And the only thing I was qualified to do was sell cars.
Okay.
What branch of service?
Navy.
Navy. Same. All
Yep.
of us.
All of us.
Love the Navy.
Yeah.
And if I could go back in right now, I would. But now I've kind of aged out.
No,
I've aged out.
Kinda aged out.
You would not appreciate the Navy of today.
You don't think so?
No, so my daughter's 20, and she is dating a young sailor. He's an E5. And I talked to him just because, that's like I don't have much connection to like active duty outside of our clients, which they only share so much. But like just having the conversations about the way the Navy is now, they've relaxed so much of the standards. It's crazy. And I don't know that any of us would be able to tolerate it. Like that shit would just drive us crazy. You can put your hands in your pocket now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what our Congress is working on, getting acts of Congress passed so we can put our hands in our
Yeah, I
pockets.
mean, what, a white shirt was considered underwear? Like,
Yeah.
They're doing away with the uniform again. They're changing the uniform again.
Right.
That's another new one. They're going to look like the Coast Guard now. So the camis and the coveralls are going away. They're going to the Coast Guard.
I mean,
blue.
but come on. Like,
Like,
that's just
again-
a contractor play. Like,
Yeah,
they just
I
want us
know,
to
it
buy the
just-
shit and
I don't
fucking
know.
spend money.
I feel like if I were to go back in, like it would fucking drive me crazy.
My husband retired after 27 years as a Master Chief.
Okay.
And when he retired, the Navy was nothing like when he went in. And he used to love being shipboard. So my son, who just went in 3 years ago,
Okay.
he's actually coming here on Sunday for school. But anyway, it's been the best thing for him. But you're right. He's got a different work ethic. And you could see it on the soccer field when he played sports. So people who play team sports have a great work ethic. When you get into the military, they're coming down, thinking of that, they're coming down with this thing to retain their sailors, that instead of letting them get out if they can't make rank, they're going to let them stay in. So instead of, so they're going to take the bottom of the barrel and they're going to give them an opportunity to.
So it's the Army.
Yeah. Anyway, we digress. But it's been really great for him.
I'm losing pride every moment this goes forward. Like,
I'm watching Mike just shake his head.
can't,
like-
bro. Like, I'm glad I left when I did, man. Like, because I'm not built for that.
What was, sorry, what was your rate?
I was a yeoman.
Okay.
And I am a great secretary. I'm still a great secretary.
I'm still a great secretary.
I will always be a
He's a
great
realtor. Of course
secretary.
you are.
Yeah. And I ended up getting out, and when I had my third child, I decided to go back to school, and I did get a master's degree in education, high school education, English, again, more secretary.
Right.
And
Oh,
so
shit.
here I am. The best realtors come from educational backgrounds, military backgrounds. So I got
I
two.
would have to agree.
How many children do you have?
I have three.
Three
I have
children.
3 children and Sherlock.
And Sherlock.
Well, one's in the military. What are your other kids doing?
Well, my youngest is a graduate from VCU, and she works for ADP, and she's just kicking butt. Let me
Nice.
tell you what.
Okay.
So if Iron Valley needs payroll, ADP,
ADP.
Alexandra, I'm a plug for her. And then Mariah,
We caught it.
I'm sorry, Alexandra did not graduate from VCU. She graduated from JMU. Mariah graduated from VCU, and she is a marketing.
All right, so you got a sailor,
At
a
Cavalier.
VCU, a JMU, and you have a master's. Safe to say you've
Yes.
done pretty well by the kids, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. If I died today,
all
I
right.
wouldn't have to see them go through any hardships.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, this is good.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like where that goes. The short that just got posted from the last time we talked about humble beginnings, and we all talked about how we came from places where we didn't come from places where our parents went to college,
No.
right?
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to hear your take on the kids, because we've also talked about parenting on this show. At any point, do you feel like you made it too easy for them?
Absolutely for the first child, and halfway for the second child, and the third one had to fend for herself. Let's face it. But you want to talk about humble beginnings. You want to talk about
Yeah,
humble
there we go.
beginnings. I came from a single parent household. Dad left when I was 6 months old. I have an older brother and a younger brother, and I was the first one to join the military, the first one to get a degree in the family, and it was not pretty growing up in the state of New Jersey with a single parent. She did her best. She worked 3 jobs, and that's what's wrong with the youth nowadays. You want to talk?
There we go.
You
there
want
we go.
You want me to
Preach.
sideline here? This is what's wrong with the youth nowadays. They want everything for nothing. When I was in the military, even over in England, I worked all day. I waitressed at nighttime. I went to school on my lunch break. I studied in between. And that was how I was able to have a car over in England.
You mean
and
you had to
pay
work
my own-
hard?
Oh, and
I
I'm sure
had
you
to
stood a
work.
watch every now and then in between there. And I'm sure you stood a watch.
I was the watch. I was the duty officer. So I had a standing watch. I would wake up at 3 a.m. when everybody else was going to bed.
Yeah.
So it was not peaches and cream.
No, no.
Nowadays, everybody wants to work 9 to 5 at McDonald's and be able to pay for their cell phone and a single family home. This is
Not
like,
happening.
what? Are you crazy? So, long story short, if we wanted a car, we worked extra. If we wanted a computer, we worked extra. If we wanted to take a vacation, we worked extra. It wasn't all one job. Anyway,
Well, there's the
my
one
thing.
job, and then there's like, can I even get you to get one job nowadays? Like with the generation, like
Kid, I
listen. I will tell you, 100% serious. We have a 16-year-old at home, and he plays soccer, so he's busy.
yeah.
But my deal was you have to get a job, and I told him literally verbatim, Dylan, you have to get a job. I don't care if you only work 1 day a week. I don't care. You just have to get a job. Saturday morning from 8 to 12, he works at McDonald's. 1 day a week for 4 hours, the bare minimum that he has to do. And he's a good kid. Like, I'm not saying it like anything bad, but I said get a job, work at least 1 day a week.
He
At least
gave you the
1 day a
bare,
week.
but he
Yeah.
delivered you the bare.
He
minimum.
delivered it,
That's
so-
your. But I think that's kind of your point. Is back in our day. Damn, I just said that.
Back in
You
our
said
day.
Our day.
Wow.
I would have
bro,
been
you don't
like,
even go to
I
the
would have
clubs
got my,
no more. Like,
I
you're
would have
there.
got my
No,
friend-
but I mean, really, even in high school, I would give McDonald's 60 hours a week. I broke every child labor law there was.
Yeah.
Give me my money.
That's what I'm
I,
saying.
I wanted money because I guess I don't know.
He gets
That's
his
crazy to me.
paycheck and he's like, I made $72 for the last 2 weeks. That sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go work more. What do you mean? Like, you're right.
That's
That does
right.
suck. Go
You need hours.
Or increase your area of expertise and get a better job.
Yes. You mean a skill
was
or a trade?
A skill. McDonald's was never meant to be a full-time employment for anyone other than someone who was in high school or middle school. I used to deliver newspapers
did
before
I.
school. Absolutely. I
I
delivered.
did that
And then
for
I would
years.
go collect at lunchtime so I
Yep.
could go have pizza for lunch.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I
Yeah.
still made my bills. I remember working at Cumberland Farms at the age of 16. I lied on the application so I could work at Cumberland Farms because I needed money.
Yeah.
16. They never knew I wasn't 16. Now they would because,
Listen.
everything's so...
Digital.
Would you believe?
Yeah,
Would you
digital.
believe I worked a third shift stalker job while I was in high school at Kmart from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. 17 years old, working overnight while in high school.
Yep. I believe it.
My kids are too young for all of this right now. So like, but like
Mine
my
aren't.
older daughter's like she's at a bank now. She applied for the loan officer position, which was like 6 spots for like all of Nevada. She didn't get it this time, but she's working and she's trying. And then my other daughter, she does stages out there in Vegas. She builds the stages and everything, and,
Oh, I love
which
that.
is pretty cool.
That is really cool.
So for us, Elijah's 19. He's getting hours in at his mom's restaurant. Does that pretty regularly. But he's going to try to go to the Marine Corps. So he's got to follow up with them next month. So he's trying to join the military. AJ just turned 16 and like on pace to graduate high school a year early. Already had her first job that she went out and got. She put her driving test on the calendar. Like, this is my goal date. Here's my driving book. Take me out. Like, yeah.
I just wish that all the people listening to this knew your kids, because when I hear you say that, they are two completely different people. I see AJ is still a little bit of like the go-getter, and I feel like Jax is going to be the 4 hours a week at McDonald's type.
See, and I would think that too until I see him go out and practice for 3 hours yesterday with nobody, just shooting the ball and dribbling. And he wants to play video games, but he also loves sports. So I
Yeah.
think he's got a healthy blend of the two. Once you mix a job in, he's only 11, so we'll
Well,
get
yeah.
there.
Well,
Exactly.
he's 11.
Yeah. Well, I've known him since he was born. So like I see their personalities. I've lived with them, so I know kind of how they are and who they are. And it's interesting.
But yeah,
to hear you
AJ's
say
doing
that.
real good, man.
I believe it.
The mental space is clear. And she's working on the license, wants a job. We just had a meeting yesterday or the day before with the counselor at the high school to go over some testing results and map out her plan for the next year. Because it's like always high anxiety, like, oh, I have to graduate. I'm like, you're a sophomore. She only needs like 2 credits next year. I'm like, calm down. But then there's like double enrollment at TCC and there's VOTEC and there's all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, if you structure it over 2 years versus just trying to graduate early, then you can do all of it. Oh, look at that. Nobody's trying to kick you out. You know what I mean? Like, you have time.
Right.
If somebody would have told me you have time or don't worry about it, I probably wouldn't have ran off to the military so quickly, But they're all in a hurry. They want to grow up and they want to get out of the house and go pay bills. By all means, please do.
So, Linda,
And I think we were all like that at some point.
Oh, I definitely was.
now your kids are doing great. And I remember when I first met you and you signed up and everything, and I was like, so what are you going to do now, right? And you could tell your backstory on that, but it's like, I just want to go hiking.
I just want
Like, I just want to hike.
I do.
And I tell you every time, it's like, where are you going next? Because I enjoy watching when you post those pictures and images and videos and everything. Like, this is where I'm at, and you're off some cliff somewhere. I don't know. Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah, there were some questionable moments there. It's like, oh my gosh, hiking alone is very challenging. And I've seen people within Iron Valley do it much better than me. But last year was a real test of, Linda, because hiking alone is one thing, traveling alone, and then getting into this precarious position of hanging off a cliff and being able to go up or going down. And you have to do something. And I think that's what life is all about. It's not all about crossroads. It's about moving forward. You have to keep moving forward. And so that's what hiking has been for me. When the kids left the nest and we had an empty nest, there was a huge void. And so the past couple of years has been filling that void. And Iron Valley was part of that. Hiking is part of that. There's a lot of different components that are coming together to fill that empty space that the kids left. And it's not to say that they're not in my life anymore. Oh my gosh, they are. In fact, they are my non-negotiables. So
Yeah.
when I think about hiking and when I think about opportunities that have been presented to myself, I have to remember what my non-negotiables are. And my children are part of that. I'm not going very far away from my non-negotiables.
Just to touch on something, you said Iron Valley was one of the voids that was filled. What was that
No,
for you?
Iron Valley came in to fill part of
Oh,
that
okay.
void. Yes. So when the kids left, there's this time
Yeah.
because you're not chauffeuring anymore. You're not traveling with them anymore.
Sports.
They don't need you as much. I mean,
You're
I
not
still
dropping
get the
them off
phone.
at school. You're not
I
prepping dinner. You're
know.
not. I can't even imagine having all my time back. Like I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it as we're talking about it. I'm like, yo.
So
Yep.
I spend so much time driving and doing for
It's true.
family.
well, this
Obviously.
this all started because Linda was the listing agent on a property. I was representing the buyer. We were under contract, and I was there for the inspection. And because Linda has so much free time, she popped by the inspection.
Absolutely. 'Cause that's what I do.
That was the first time we met,
what I
and we
do.
started talking about Iron Valley. And it wasn't very long after that. Maybe a couple of months went by, I think, before she made the decision to make the move. But just because you had the extra time, that led you here. So it's pretty cool.
Well, it's all your fault, Andy. It really is.
I didn't get that
It really
recruiting
is.
bonus.
And and what's interesting is I had gone to an open house, and it was like a block party open house that Iron Valley was having.
that was me and you, the double aquamarine. I remember.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy, and
we,
I was there.
We had the grills and the tents and the
Yes.
raffle.
Where we
And
met him
Yes.
the first time, too.
I
Yep,
showed
cornhole
up with
boards,
these
all that.
two 81-year-old women, and we are just like meandering along amongst all of you cool people. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so uncool. But that was my first introduction to Iron Valley. And then when I saw you on the buy side at my listing, we had a nice conversation. And what really drew me to you and Iron Valley was how down to earth you were. There were no pretenses. There wasn't any of these overtures of grandiosity. It was just like, yeah. And then it's like, oh, he's back on his phone.
I'm busy. I'm busy.
But it was a great transaction to work with you on. And so that's how I ended up here.
Well, hopefully it's been good since.
It has. It was interesting because I was like, oh, I'm going to give this a year. I'm going to give this a year. And I jokingly said that I came on board because y'all reminded me of Vikings, and I wanted to be with the Vikings and, the bikers.
remember that, yeah.
Yes. And after my first year mark, I've decided to stay because it is more like a home to me. I can go to any one of the offices. I can talk to any of you. I'm probably twice as old as all of you. But anyway, long story short, is it's comfortable. It's very comfortable. And again, I don't mean to repeat myself. There are no pretenses of grandiosity. We're just here to serve our clients. We're just doing our things to make our clients happier and more profitable. So that's what this game is.
Well, Linda, I think, just hit us with the mic drop. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
do we stop there or do we keep going?
that's definitely a short for sure. That's a good
yeah.
We'll give her the opportunity, though. We also ask people, we interview people, ask people questions all the time. Do you have any questions for any one of us that maybe you want to shotgun us to answer here during the episode?
I love asking questions. I really do. I
love
really
it.
do.
Because most people are like, oh, man, I don't know. But the earlier and now you are like, oh, yeah, I love questions.
I definitely like questions. So I've seen the growth that Iron Valley has undergone in the past year. Where do you see yourselves, Iron Valley, in 5 years?
All right, I guess I'll go.
It's on your board for like just next year.
Yeah. So, one, I see us number one in our market. Number two, I see us doing that with the most productive agents in the market, not just body count. Three, I see us continuing to impact the community through philanthropy and community involvement and impact. Four, I would say I see managing brokers in each location and the owners becoming slightly more autonomous because we're all building other things as well. Me personally, I'll probably press some books and do some speaking. Other people may be flipping houses or investing in multi-unit or whatever they're doing, but I mean, I don't see us going anywhere. I see us being number one. I see us buying a building that's going to be essentially it will replace Bendix Road because we're not going to renew this lease. We'd rather own something. So that's what I see. I see us buying a building. I see us getting to 500 agents. I see us running and owning this market. I see us training all the agents in the market. And I see myself doing tour stops around the world.
I've got another question. So we've talked about the new recruits in the military and some of the things that have challenged us with them. What do you see as the number one challenge for incoming agents?
Their fallacy of how this business actually works. A lot of people go get a real estate license and think that they're going to go to a firm and be cut a paycheck or be on a staff or have leads handed to them or whatever it is that they think, not knowing that they actually first have to learn a contract, learn how to write a contract, learn what it takes to work a lead source, how to generate a lead, how to build leads. So it's really, like you said earlier, everybody wants a career handed to them when really they should all go through like Glover U has 75 Hard. We have a 90-day Sales Savage program. We have the peak performance training. Like if you're a new agent, your first thing really should be to go get training. Where can I learn how to do this? Because you're never going to make money if you don't learn how to do it. And getting your license doesn't teach you that. It teaches you how to stay out of jail.
Yep.
It does.
So I think that's the biggest problem. Agents are looking for leads. When I started, you had to create your own leads. And that's the gap that we have to close. Stop thinking you got to pay Zillow to run your business. Not that it's bad or it can't be a lead source, but there's so many other ways to generate income without losing income. And nobody's taking the time to educate themselves on it. I think that's the biggest problem in our business.
I was an instructor for over 3 years. And when I was instructing, one of the things that I would always tell the new and up and coming agents is that this is where you learn how to stay out of jail, basically. But you're not going to learn anything about real estate until you get to a brokerage. Once you get to a brokerage, stay out of the classrooms. I mean, aside from doing your post-licensing that you have to do, your 60 hours, which is just a given, just get that done. But you really have to be with other realtors.
Yes, get a mentor, be in
Other
the field.
real estate professionals. You have to be around other people that are doing what you want to do.
Ones that are actually
Be
closing
good.
deals, not just making social media posts. Like,
So I run into this.
Are there those people?
So I echo your statement. Yes, the myth of people coming into real estate thinking that it's one thing is a challenge. Thank you, HGTV and Netflix and all of that.
yeah, for sure.
But I think the grit of a younger generation. So you have to look at this from two different perspectives because a newer agent doesn't necessarily mean a younger generation.
That's true. That's
Right?
true.
So I feel like the younger generation lacks the grit, generally speaking, lacks the grit to do what this takes. Like real estate isn't hard. It's just a job.
Yeah, it's a matter of discipline, really.
So if you treat it like a job, and you can ask any one of my coaching clients because we've had this same conversation, if you treat it like a job and you identify the top 3 to 5 tasks that you're supposed to do every single day after you punch the clock, whether it's in real estate, working construction, or in a cafeteria, you have a task list.
Absolutely.
Treat it like a job, show up to work every day, and do the top 3 to 5 tasks on your list, and you will be successful.
Absolutely.
Treat it like a fucking job.
No, I agree with you.
Solid F-bomb. Keep that one in there, Adam. I like the emphasis on that one.
And pay your taxes.
And pay your taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for them is they're quick to go to the social media, follow somebody. Not that they're all bad, but I would say the majority
Let's
of
get
them.
back to in person. Go meet
In
somebody.
person,
Go look
in
them in
your
the eye.
office,
Go shake a
get those
hand.
mentors.
Show up to a training session. You know.
Yeah, the social media is not your market.
Yep.
Correct.
And then I would say
There's a big difference.
for the new agent, not the young agent, right? Like not the younger generation, but for the newer agent, have a plan. When you're coming into real estate, you don't know what it's going to look like, but think about it. We talk about planning your future, right? Most people, all of us in this room got our real estate license and went, okay, how do I sell a house now? But if you come into it with a plan and conduct it like a business and run it like a job,
You'll be successful.
you will be successful,
Absolutely.
right? It's so simple, but it's not easy.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. And the majority of agents that come into the field have done something previously.
Yes.
And so,
Or still do currently.
or
also
still
currently.
do currently. And that is a really good point. A lot of agents that are coming in now, they're not leaving their 9 to 5.
Which makes it harder to get started here.
It really is. And who keeps saying let the boat go? Unhitch the boat.
Eric.
What is that? Unhitch the boat.
Yeah, Eric, burn the boat,
ships.
burn the
Burn
ship.
Burn the
ships. Burn the
ships.
ships,
Burn the
yeah.
ships. That's what it is. Yeah.
Eric has said it a couple
Burn the
times.
ships. So when you have retired people coming over, they don't have a ship. They've already let their ship sail. So this is something that they can do full time. Much better if you can treat it like a business. And treating it like a business means to show up 9 to 5 and be in the office, because you will learn so much just from being around everybody else in the office.
Everybody asks me, what happened in your business? You blew up the last 4 years. Well, I got out of the Navy. That's the actual answer.
Well, not only that, but
But think about it,
ahead.
your time, right? When I was able to give all my time to real estate versus pulling it and picking it between the military and family life and all that, when it became the only thing I was doing, that's when everything took off. That's when the things, you know what I
what
mean?
you focus on expands.
Yes, absolutely.
I was a manager at the Girl Scout Council of Colonial Coast, and I was selling real estate on the side. I had gotten my
That's a lot of C's.
I had gotten my license, and I had a listing. I don't know where this listing came from. Actually, I do know where the listing came from. It was from my sphere from Ocean Lakes High School. So I ended
Not a
up
bad sphere to
selling that.
have.
Yeah, and it was my first transaction was an REO, and it worked. But then I had dead ended at the GSCCC because I had taken them from being a service industry to being a profit industry 3 years in a row. So it's like, well, do I keep regurgitating this and doing the same thing? Right. And one of my employees that I had just hired said, Linda, you need to quit this, go sell real estate. I'm going to be your assistant when you make it big, and write a book. So when I did that and I let that go, I gave him like a 3-month a 3-month lead time.
Okay.
I'm leaving. I'm really leaving. And so I finally left, and I hit the ground running. And I never had to look back. But trying to straddle those two worlds is very difficult. You don't have enough energy to give 100% to both.
I would agree.
Pick one.
I would agree.
Having said that, since coming into real estate, I've been an author, I've been an instructor, I've been a broker, I've been an owner, I've been a realtor, I've been a real estate professional, and now I am just doing my thing here at Iron Valley Real Estate. The one thing I've got left to do in the next 5 years is to write my book. So I'm going to write my book.
I got people for that.
We hooking up.
Great.
Yep.
So I think that leads us to the Your Peak Life question.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you agree?
yeah.
I think this is my peak life.
Living your peak
Yeah,
life.
absolutely.
I am
Hiking
living
when
my
she
peak
wants,
life.
watching her kids be successful, still representing clients when you feel like it,
Hanging
not
off a
because you
cliff.
have to, right?
I represent my clients. I'm showing rental properties to clients' children,
Love it.
to military. I show resale properties. I've got investors that reach out to me, and I've got time for them.
Love it. Love it.
There you go.
That's
And I
great.
still have time to hike.
And still
I know.
have time to hike.
And spend time with your kids.
Oh my gosh, my non-negotiables.
I love it. Well, I mean, that's it. I think that's the end of the episode.
And my husband too. I mean, we'll
plug
let
him in there.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I do have a husband. He's a great supporter. And you know what? You can do anything if you have great support at home.
I would agree.
Boom.
I couldn't agree more.
That's one of the biggest bedrocks.
That's the mic drop. All right, everybody, like, follow, comment, share. We appreciate you. Don't forget, June 4th, Eric Thomas webinar. Details coming soon. Have a great day.